What does it mean to be a strong Black lead?
It takes a lot to be a lead, period. And I think when you're Black, I think unfortunately there's more that goes along with it. Yeah. But I also think there's, we're redefining it in terms of what that means. Because if you think about Moonlight, which is one of my favorite movies, there's 3 very strong Black leads, and they all play very different roles in the film, but very important to the story. So I think, what it means to be strong is to be confident. And I think being Black, there's no one way to be Black. I think you gotta be authentic and be yourself. Cause I'm a boss.
Today's video is going to be about Netflix versus BET. Who is doing more for the culture? Who's doing more for Blacks and people of color? Let's go ahead and get right into this video. When it comes to BET was found in 1979 by Robert Louis Johnson. This was the first ever Black entertainment television network. It was launched January 25th, 1980, and it only broadcasted for 2 hours a week. In 1983 was when BET became a full-fledged entity. In July of 2017, BET was signed over to Viacom, and this is parent organization to National Amusements. So in reality, Summer Redstone is the actual owner. He owns National Amusements, which means he owns Viacom. Summer Redstone was born May 27th, 1923. I just wanted to add that when segregation ended in 1954, Summer Redstone was 31 years old. So I'm looking at myself being that I'm 27, and I'm like, I'm pretty set in my ways to be 27. So he was 31. Let's move on to Netflix. So Netflix was launched on April 14th, 1998. It was founded by Mark Randolph. He was born April 29th, 1958. And Reed Hastings. He was born October 8th, 1960. This was the world's first online rental store with only 30 employees and 925 titles available. Netflix started online streaming in 2007. Hastings admitted that if Blockbuster had launched their own service maybe approximately about 2 years earlier, they would have driven Netflix out of business. So I wonder why Blockbuster didn't do that. I wonder what was the issue. Maybe they didn't have the funding, or maybe they didn't feel like it was a good idea at the time. I wonder why they didn't launch their own online streaming service. It's very interesting. So now that you guys have a little bit of history and background on Netflix and BET, I noticed that a lot of people are either blind to the fact that BET really isn't doing as much for the culture as they could be when you compare them to Netflix. And I've been reading your comments and I've been seeing people debate about this, but in reality, facts are facts, and I'm going to give you the facts here today. There have been a lot of changes that have happened to the BET network when it just comes to people who were in leading roles within the network, and now they have either left the company and have moved on to other things. BET was American's cable television network and multimedia group. It provides news, entertainment, and other programming development primarily for African American viewers. Bob Bakish, he is BET CEO, and he took over as CEO in late 2016. May of 2018, Chairman and Chief Executive Deborah Lee left the company. Now, this is the lady that you see, well, you used to see every year at the BET Awards. She would come on and give a speech, and she used to do it every year, but her reasons are unknown. When she was Chairman and Chief Executive, I felt like BET wasn't that terrible, but now it's really not the same. Like, you can tell she is no longer like head in charge over a lot of things that are going on within BET. Also, BET executives Stephen Hill and Zola Marshkariaki left the network a year ago. Zola sued BET and Viacom alleging discrimination. The suit was eventually settled. BET has catered to African American audiences since 1980, but like many cable channels, it has struggled to retain viewers as younger audiences gravitate towards streaming options. The recent changes in BET has been a major reflection of its lack of growth. So I'm going to list some current shows that are listed under BET's programming. The first show that I have is In Contempt.
New legal drama, In Contempt.
Objection.
Withdrawn.
Counsel, state your name for the record.
Gwen Sullivan, Defenders Association of New York County.
Someone gets arrested, they pop up here 24 hours later and get assigned a lawyer.
This place is a nightmare. The computers are from like 1999. There's no support staff to speak of.
She's a talented lawyer, Tom, but she's disrespectful.
The DA's office does this all the time. I expect it from a prick like Hammond, but not from you.
Miss Sullivan, you are in contempt. Please escort her to lockup.
Sometimes you're a little too passionate.
What's wrong with passion?
Passion gave me a heart attack at age 48.
Maybe you'd stop having these panic attacks if you admitted that you still have feelings for me.
Personally, I feel like this is a knockoff between How to Get Away with Murder and Scandal. Next, I have a documentary that focuses on the Death Row Chronicles, which is like NWA, Suge Knight.
And now, an exclusive sneak peek of the Death Row Chronicles.
Suge broke the chains. His unorthodox way of getting a deal was groundbreaking.
How did Suge go from being a bodyguard to running his own label? It's called a street instinct. He never went for the little man. He always went for the big guy. You don't rob the person who's selling the dope on the street. You rob the person who has the dope.
Dre called Easy and said, "Look, man, let's squash this. Meet me at the studio, just me and you. We'll talk it over, you know, and figure this out."
Death Row Chronicles, scene 2:67, Mark.
Eazy-E shows up to this office within the studio that is soundproof.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, where's Dre at?
A beatdown ensued. Even after that beatdown, Eazy-E is tough. Eazy-E grew up in Compton. He's a real dude from the streets.
It's the same old to me. It's like we've seen this before. We know the story. Then I also have American Soul. Now, American Soul, I love the cast for this show.
Just in time for the first trip on the Soul Train. If the sound of soul is your pleasure, then what's your treasure?
Mr. Cornelius, these kids are nailing all the latest steps.
Maybe you don't understand. I need stars creating the next dance craze.
You ain't American Bandstand. Come back when you learn the game.
I think it will be a great show, and I love the diversity. Now, American Soul, if BET could expand more on shows like this, they're really headed in the right direction for what people want to see, what the culture wants to see more of. So I will give them that. Like they're moving in the right direction with that show. Games People Play, I don't really like this show already just because it focuses on the same old storyline. It's like a knockoff of the game, and there's really no difference at all, honestly, when you look at it, except for there's a murder involved. That's like the center focus of the show. Someone gets murdered.
Do you know the identity of your intruder?
No.
What a play when he attacks the glass.
Some character flaws, maybe a bit immature.
You have got to be kidding me.
A little too curious. Yeah, a little too curious. With certain men, when they get into a position of power, they take advantage of that.
There's a girl, and she's sleeping with a professional athlete, and she keeps posting pictures of his body parts.
What?
It stereotypes, yet again, the average black man who makes it in the NBA, and then the wife who gives up everything, her career, gives up on school, and follows behind some man. And it's just like, we are more than just that type of story. Like there are so many different stories to tell, and this is the one that you want to tell. So Other than the show and other shows on BET employing black actors and actresses, I'm really not here for the stories and the writing and the production that goes behind these shows. I feel like they could do better, and we're about to get into Netflix. So let's go ahead and get into Netflix so that you guys can really see the difference. There's a huge difference in creativity, writing, and just storytelling as a whole. It's just a different type of vibe when you get on Netflix. Why is Netflix doing more for Black culture and people of color? June 2018, Netflix came out with Strong Black Lead. It focuses on writing while Black and acting while Black.
This is a new day, built from the ground, broken by legends. A day for our generation to see untold experiences of our blackness, representing a limitless range of identity, playing kings and queens of our neighborhoods, defeating larger-than-life forces, trying to flip our world upside down. We stand up on any stage and every screen. A day when Black women are boldly the lead character, whether inmates or scholars. We're not a genre, because there's no one way to be Black. We're writing while Black, nuanced and complex, resilient and strong. This is not a moment. This is a movement. We are strong Black leads. Today is a great day in Hollywood.
Director Ava DuVernay, she created the documentary 13th. It focuses on the 13th Amendment. It also focuses on race, justice, and incarceration in the United States.
1 out of 4 human beings with their hands on bars, shackled, in the world are locked up here in the land of the free.
Khalif Browder was walking home from a party when he was stopped by police.
Then they said, we're gonna take you to the precinct, and most likely we're gonna let you go home, and then I never went home.
The 13th Amendment to the Constitution makes it unconstitutional for someone to be held as a slave. There are exceptions, including criminals.
Also, we have another director under Netflix, Spike Lee. He created the hit show on Netflix called She's Gotta Have It. This show was a remake. The original was a 1986 black and white comedy drama.
I want you to know the only reason I'm consenting to this is because I wish to clear my name. Not that I care what people think, but enough is enough. And if in the end it helps some other people out, well then that's fine too. I consider myself normal, whatever that means. Some people call me a freak. I hate that word. I don't believe in it. Better yet, I don't believe in labels. But what are you gonna do? In my experiences, I found 2 types of men. The decent ones.
I know it sounds corny, but if I didn't follow you, I might not ever see you again.
You're right, that does sound corny. And the dogs. I've never seen anybody who like to look at themselves more than you do. Don't you ever get tired?
Never happened, baby.
What? What? What?
Just let me smell it.
Netflix continues to show how much they value Black voices and narratives that serve our communities. And this is why I love Netflix, you guys. Competitors like HBO, Starz, Hulu, Showtime rarely feature more than one predominantly Black series per season. And what do I mean per season? I mean like summer, fall, winter, spring. It only will showcase one predominantly Black series within each season. Now, finally, I'm going to get into my personal opinion when it comes to Netflix versus BET. In my opinion, BET could be doing more. You see a huge difference in creativity and storytelling when you compare the two. The production, the writers, directors, from just everything when it comes to film, you see a huge difference. And it seems more authentic and organic when you watch Netflix versus when you tune in to BET. It doesn't matter what show you're watching. It just seems like the production is just better overall. BET should focus more on what the culture wants to see, and currently Netflix is doing that. I also love the diversity when it comes to Netflix, when it comes to the LGBT community, when it comes to Black women having leading roles like in She's Gotta Have It. I do feel like you see more diversity with skin colors as well. You have Caleb McLaughlin, who played in Stranger Things, and he was a dark-skinned little Black boy, and I feel like little Black boys need to see that. Also, you have a dark-skinned brown woman who played in She's Gotta Have It. That was something that we rarely got to see, but we need directors like Spike Lee who doesn't have a colorist mindset. He had no problem with casting this actress, this darker-skinned complected actress. I feel like Netflix does a very good job with showing diversity. They're not colorist, they're not racist, they don't discriminate against gays. I mean, they are just really, really good with having a platform that is well balanced, and you get just about any and everything when it comes to their streaming service. This also includes cartoons. This includes friendly shows for kids. When it was Black History Month, Netflix put on a educational series with Kevin Hart. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. And it was to basically educate the younger generation on Black History Month. And I thought that was interesting. And then if you watch BET, they did reruns of Roots. They do the same thing every year, and I felt like Netflix really stepped up their game and gave us something new and something exciting to watch when it came to Black History Month, and it gave us something that our kids could watch as well. So this is my opinion on Netflix versus BET. I want your guys' opinion. I want to hear from you guys. Comment down below your opinion on this situation. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. I'm trying to hit 100K here on YouTube, so please subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so that you're notified for when I upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video.